Hi, this is April from Craft Knife Chronicles, and I'm here to share with you my autumn fairy house. This project is based on a pattern by Laura Dennison of Following the Paper Trail. She's been making a whole series of fairy houses that will continue into next year. They've been a lot of fun to create. This is a large project, so we're having to step back kind of far to get it all into the camera. It sits on a base that's about 10 inches square and it's about 16 inches tall. So first we'll take a kind of a spin around the whole thing, and then I'll try to come in with some close-ups of the different facades and different features. And of course there are close-up photos on my blog, craftKnifeChronicles.blogspot.com. The key feature to this house is that it is built on a stump and into a tree. Now in this lighting, I don't know if you can see all of the details of the stump, but we'll come in closer to see that. So let's kind of look at some of these things and take a spin around. One of the key features that I added to the project was this balcony with the twig fence that you can see up here. It's just several layers of chipboard that I slipped onto the original smaller balconies that were part of the pattern, and just drilled holes to allow twigs to be planted in there, glued in to create the fence. There's 3 windows in this project. You can't see very well in this lighting, but they all have kind of a faux stained glass look to them. And then there are LED tea lights inside that light them up, and it's very cool looking when the lights are low. When I added the wraparound porch, I thought that it would be fun to have a couple of different staircases. So as we come around here, you'll see this one that's more like a ladder coming off of the back. And now as we come around to the back, you can see the whole tree stump, piece of the tree that the house is built into. This is all created out of chipboard and lunch sack paper mache and molding paste on top that was painted to give it the look of the tree bark. That's a technique that we learned in the Summer Fairy House, and just Laura just amped it up with higher volume in this project. Here, I'm not quite sure if you can see in this light, there is a break in the stump, and see if I can get my fingers in here. This is where a mini album fits in, and we'll take a closer look at that later. Just fits tightly right in there. Continuing around here, on this side, there's another little staircase that comes up to the back of the balcony. Here you get a pretty good view of the spiral staircase coming up to the front door of the house. And here we are back where we started. Get a good view of the little ladder staircase back there. So I'm going to move the camera so that we can get some close-ups of some of the facades, and I'll share those with you in a moment. So here we are looking at the base of the tree, at the stump and some of the staircases and things around the bottom part of the project. You can see on the front the spiral staircase that we saw when we were taking our 360 view. This is a kind of an interesting twig that I've had for a long time, and I decided that would make a good base for the spiral staircase. The spiral staircase is part of Laura's original project, and she used some pine cones to do that, but this twig has been looking for a project to be in, and I think this one worked out pretty well for it. You can see here some of the details of the stump as we turn around. I added a lot of texture and dimension. It looked a little bare when I was finished, so I put a couple of little pine cones and flowers in there. You can see the twig staircase too, the twig railing as we come along here. Here is the ladder that I made as kind of a back way to get into the house. You can see there's a little door right here. I added a little back door to get in there. There's nothing really going on the back on the stump, but just some interesting textures in the stump itself. As we come around to this side, you're getting a close-up view of the third staircase. I had a little bag of twigs that I've had for forever, and that's how I was able to make all these twig things, and some of them have a lot of little interesting bends and things in them, and one of them just formed perfectly around the contours of the tree, so I just used that and glued little paper leaves to that. When I was making the tree stump, I wanted to add kind of a knot hole so I could put a little owl or some kind of creature in there, and that's a little owl that's left over from some Halloween projects that I just snuck into that little knot hole. And now we're just coming around the side. You can see the texture on the tree. Some more flowers and in the base, hiding in the base of the tree. And we're back to where we started. So I'll switch the camera angle and we'll go up a level and take a look at that view of the house. So here we are on the main floor of the house, starting with the front facade. You can see there's a front door for the fairies to come into their house. There's a little doorknob on that. This door doesn't actually open. Then on to the right side of the door as we face the house is a little emblem that says Wonder on it. I have a series of button decorations from Can Company, well, little birds and all sorts of nature elements on them that I've used off and on in projects over the years, and this one was just the right color and the right sentiment, I thought, to add a little decoration to the house. Above the door you can see a window which has the faux stained glass I was talking to you about in the previous video. Underneath it is a floral arrangement made of some paper, flowers, and ferns, and above the little dormer roof is a piece of paper with the ends twirled up and a leaf on top. Yeah, what you're seeing in front of that is a pine cone hanging a decoration. We'll see better when I turn the house a little bit. The twig railing fence on the balcony has a little triangular arbor so that to have an opening so the fairies can get into the door and into the front that way. So let's turn this a little bit. Now you see the pine cone up there at the top. It's hanging from some faux wrought iron decorative element that was made out of wire with some paper tape on top of it. So I come around on this side of the house. You can see the neat shingling design that Laura designed for the house. It's strips of paper and then the ends are curled up. I just love how that looks on here. Again, the windows have the same treatment as the front facade with the little dormer roofs and the floral arrangement below. As I turn this, you'll be able to see the little back door so that the fairies have a way, you know, it could be a fire escape or just another way for egress. And going down to the ladder, you can't see it in this view, but it is right comes underneath here. Getting a close-up of where the mini album fits in right there, and the woodwork there, and part of the tower up there at the top. As we come along to this side, there's just the little owl in the knothole there, and more of the decorative shingling. This house is built right into the tree. You can see this edge right here. That's where the house stops and the tree begins. Just back to the front. So we just have a close-up of the top of the tower to look at, and we'll do that next. So just a quick look at the top of the fairy house, the top of the tower, where there's some leaves that are on the roof, and then a wooden knob painted to match the house. You can see the light coming through the windows there a little bit as I turn it around. Just a four-cornered roof. And very simply done, but adds a nice touch at the top.